Hey everybody, it's Watch Curtis Code bonus episode 4.5. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of background on what's been happening in July. I know it's August now, but the last video that I recorded for Watch Curtis Code was probably early July. In mid-July, I recorded just the rant portion, the part where I talk about the idea guy. But, I didn't get into the code because I felt like I had to make a lot of changes and whatnot. Also, a lot of other stuff happened. Not other stuff, bad stuff, but a lot of other stuff, good stuff. And I'll explain that in just a moment. So, just give you the broad strokes of what's been happening in July is the first thing is won a hackathon. And for the project that was in the hackathon, I got a soft acquihire acquisition offer for it. And that was kind of a weird experience, but an interesting experience. And then also got invited to be on it, or not got invited to be on it, but I got the opportunity to be on this show, so on a TV show. So I'll explain a little bit about that in just a moment as well. So let me just get into the hackathon thing. So every year there's this hackathon called iOS Dev Camp, and it's put on by Dom Segala and a number of other folks as well. You'll have to look at it. It's iosdevcamp.org. Now, in 2014, I won Best UI UX for iOS Dev Camp, which basically means I had the well-polished, good-looking version of an app out in 48 hours. And remember, a hackathon is just 48 hours of hacking away, developing either a small business or a small product that you show off to others, and then judges judge you on it. And sometimes there's prize, sometimes there's cash, sometimes there's just opportunity cost. I mean, there's not opportunity cost, but there's an opportunity, maybe a job or maybe resources. There's just, the prizes vary. Now, I've judged hundreds of hackathons, so I had a little bit of a leg up in a sense of I kind of know what it takes to win a hackathon. And, now I think about it, maybe I'll do a pod on what it takes. In fact, I did a talk at this iOS Dev Camp 2016 that was entitled "How to Win iOS Dev Camp," and there was a hater in the crowd, just a bunch of stuff. But I did win again, iOS Dev Camp 2016. Me and my co-founder Sandy Guy, great designer, we won for an idea that we created in 48 hours only. Okay. Let me explain the idea, the concept, okay? And I'll show some screenshots, maybe a little video of how this thing works. It's called FlixPass. FlixPass essentially solves the problem of having to subscribe to Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, Amazon Prime Video, all these different video streaming services. You can subscribe to for 99 cents for 24 hours. We give you the credentials to get on those services for 24 hours unlimited access. So that was the idea, and it resonated with a lot of people. In fact, we asked many people how many are subscribed to 2 and 3 services. A lot of them raised their hand. I mean, it was like 70-80%, so it was pretty nuts, and it actually got a good response. In fact, I think we had one of the loudest applauses because it was something that people definitely wanted, but they didn't know how to verbalize it. They didn't know why this hadn't been done yet. In fact, that's all the comments that I got was, why hasn't this been done yet? Why don't you guys partner? Why don't you guys figure out how to make this thing for reals? In fact, a company actually approached us. They had just raised like 20 or 2 million, I can't remember. And they kind of said, hey, we've been thinking about that exact same problem. How would you like to just come work for us and work on that? Or how about we just buy you guys when you get to a certain level and whatnot? And I mean, it just like my ears perked up like, wow, this is really something, and maybe I should kind of focus an effort in this direction. And, it's easy to get scatterbrained that way, but, I'm usually more level-headed about it. And so I don't let that stuff get to my head. I just try to create the best products out there, and I'll let the people judge it, But anyway, it was exciting. It was exciting to, come back and win the Intercontinental Championship belt once again, and who knows? I mean, going into it, I was anxious, didn't know if I could do it. So, but it got a wild response. We won, got a little soft acquihire situation going, and that's still on the table, hopefully. And the big news after that was that a friend of mine, Joseph, some of you guys know him. He's kind of like my comrade in arms. We do a lot of little hackathon projects and whatnot. He got approached by someone to do this new show, or to at least to apply to be on this show called Planet of the Apps. I think Gwyneth Paltrow and Gary Vee and Will.i.am are involved and whatnot. And so I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So I told him, well, why don't you submit FlixPass as one of the entries, and you and I can work on this thing, you know. And sure enough, he did, and we got almost an instant response, second rounding us. So that's something that we look forward to. If it happens, it happens. As some of you guys know me, I've been on a couple TV shows. It never really turns out the way that I expect, but we'll see what happens, what comes of it, right? I mean, it's one of these things that can take this personal brand to a new level, and I'm all for that. But TV is one of these things where you have to tell a story, and you have to set a narrative, and you have to set a narrative for characters. So I think for people that don't really understand TV, like I didn't when I first got on TV, even though I've watched hundreds of hours of TV, it just, it made total sense. And so ever since then, I've been, fighting for little bits of control to kind of make sure that my image or my reputation is not tarnished as well. So that's pretty much all the news that's fit to print. Of course, the biggest reason why I do this show is because not only is it something that gets me excited about coding and building apps, but it also gets you guys excited. Some people have emailed me. In fact, the reason why I do this show and the reason it started was because I wanted to see if people would be interested in seeing me build an app. And based on the response from that, I said, okay, maybe I should make this a public thing instead of a private thing. And that's why you see that I went away from live streaming it to actually having a recorded show that talked about business for the business folks, and it talked about coding for the people that are interested in coding. So you get the best of both worlds, and you can stop or start it knowing where the minutes begin. This episode 4 is a little bit different, a little shorter in parts and whatnot, but I think you guys will get the hang of it. And so I look forward to creating more content. And the key is that you guys need to go and tell a friend. Tell a friend about it. Tell them about the things you're learning about business. Tell them about the things you're learning about how to build an app. And at the very least, for your project, if you want to start a project, you can at least know the steps, the process, the tools, and the expertise it requires to actually build out a product. And so those are the things that I feel we're going to cover in this show. And we're only just getting started. So please tell a friend. So also keep in mind, just keep on the lookout. Maybe we'll do this Planet of the Apps thing. And then also, I believe I have an event coming up at TechCrunch Disrupt Hackathon. It's not confirmed yet, but I'll let you guys know as soon as it is confirmed. So I'll be at the TechCrunch Disrupt Hackathon, and I'll be doing what I do, hacking away. And so this has just been a brief update on what's been happening with Watch Curtis Code. And don't lose heart. We're going to keep going on. One thing about this TV show thing, not to kind of beat a dead horse, is that I always kind of keep in mind the scripture about it's Ecclesiastes 9:11 about it's not always the swift that win the race or the strongest that win the battle. I got to look that up. Give me a second. Let's see. Yeah, it says, I've seen something further under the sun, that the swift do not always win the race, nor do the mighty win the battle, nor do the wise always have the food, nor do the intelligent always have the riches, nor do those with knowledge always have success, because time and unexpected events overtake them all. So I keep these things in mind as I apply for these things or I engage with these things. I mean, it's not always about the work, although it should be. It's not always about what's merited and what you deserve. Sometimes it's just about networking, building, rapport. Sometimes it's about politics too. And that's just the world we live in. So, you have to keep in mind that, sometimes you work hard, you make your efforts manifest, people can see, and then you proceed as if, okay? So just keep that in mind, and I hope you guys continue hacking away. If you're building a project, go ahead and send it to me. Add it to the comments of the videos. I'd love to see it. And if you want advice, please give me a call or email me. My number's always been public, 415-999-7117. Give me a call. First text me. That way I know who you are. I'm not just going to answer any random call. So do that, and then we'll have a dialogue. Let's talk, all right? That's it, and stay tuned for the next episode of Watch Curtis Code, episode 5.